Subway's now slicing their meats fresh. Try a new deli hero from the Subway series and taste the difference for yourself.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello, and welcome back into the LCS Challengers League broadcast here for the promotions for the 2024 spring season. And we had an awesome game there in game one, and I want to jump right into it because there was a certain moment that I picked out for our Turo Key Drive. And I asked you to, if you could guess which moment it was, but I don't think you actually, I don't know if you would be able to predict this one, because if we roll the tape, I'll show you which one it was. The moment was actually pretty early into the game. It was the second Rift Herald of the game, because I felt like this was the moment the game broke open for LiT. So Cubby, kind of walk us through this.
I mean, LiT are down numbers right now because Kisno is soloing out the Dragon, but they still take the fight and continue even when it is a 4v3 into a 5v3. And I got to give Rockboom Messers a lot of credit. At a 0 ult backwards, I look at Rockboom. He's just autoing undeterred. Gets Sketch out of the fight, the DPS, and then he's Sivir, man. He's just shredding through tanks. That's the Sivir happy zone. Rockboom made the most of it there with messages, and about 2 carries. Played this fight outstanding, played the entire game outstanding, and frankly, I'm at the point where I want to deny LiT Azir. I think messages is not only too good with this champ, but we've seen Rockboom play Sivir and Caitlyn, 2 marksmen that pair up very well with Azir with a siege-style front-to-back composition. And I think at this point, you just take that piece away.
And what great decision-making to come out of LiT, especially around objectives. Like, we had the Dragon take where they decided to just funnel right onto Sketch, take him down, and then they have their way with the Dragon. So I really like what LiT are bringing now, as we did compliment Supernova on a lot of their team play, but it seems like LiT are beginning to punch on it.
Yeah, and just look at the damage. I'm a little surprised how much Dragoon did, but then again, it is also Alawi.
It's top lane.
Yeah, it's top lane Alawi.
Each other.
You just get free damage from your souls. I think that actually counts towards the damage you do, even if they do, your teammates do the damage to it.
You're kind of a drain tank. A lot of those fights, it's just Dragoon saying, like, don't worry, guys, I'm going to hold the line. Once Rockboom and messages get here, we're going to take over. And you just see his health bar kind of, like, bouncing up and down for a lot of those fights. He got a lot of damages, so you got to credit him there, but it's just Alawi things.
It was just funny, because the other day, I was saying on broadcast, like, watching LiT, I'm like, all right, when's Alawi going to come through for Dragoon? I was ready for it to happen. Didn't happen. Actually got fanned away in the second game against Team Fish Taco. And seeing it here in game one, I'm like, all right, I feel justified. I feel like my big brain came through once again for me right there, because I'm like, yes, I know Dragoon's champion pool. I know what he likes to play. And speaking of knowing these players and knowing the champion pools, I have a fun Subway halftime refresh for both of you. And that is what I like to call...
Fun.
Yeah, fun for me. It's very, very fun for me, because I call it the Unfair Quiz Show with Magical. Are you both ready for this?
No. But I don't have a choice, Magical.
No, you don't. Cubby, what about you?
I'm going to make it unfair for you. All I got to say.
We'll see about that, because I got some good questions here. So let's start off with question 1 for everybody out there and see how well you two do. You are fighting against each other, by the way. The points do matter, and there is a prize that will be
doled out.
Can we
go against you, Alex?
Yeah, because I would win. So, both Dragoon and Quacker played in the 2023 LCS Challengers League Summer Promotion. But who played more Olaf during that promotion?
Is that this tournament?
Oh, that's...
No. That's the last one. That would be the summer promotion. This is the spring 2024 promotion.
This is such a trick question, isn't it? I
Quacker
hate you. I hate you.
Quacker did.
All right.
I'm going with Quacker as well. The way, when I researched this guy, all I saw was, like, Olaf play when I first saw him.
He's probably going to go, like, they played at the same amount, and that's it. So.
All right. Well, the answer is you both get a point. I gave you a free question for question number 1.
Okay, it wasn't a trick question.
It wasn't a trick question. The trick question was that it wasn't a trick question, that it was actually a real question. And it was 3 games to 2. And also, Quacker was undefeated on his Olaf.
Yeah.
So that was also the other difference. It was a big factor of why AoE, he subbed in for AoE, were able to promote. But let's get into question number 2, because this one is going to be a lot harder. So, Magical, myself, talked with Messages before his interview after the LiT win against Taco. Messages claimed he was a 2-trick currently in solo queue. Which 2 champions did he claim that he was playing?
Ari Azir.
Ari Azir. Okay.
I'm gonna agree with the Azir.
Yeah. It looks like it from the gameplay we've
Okay.
seen, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the other one? What's the other one? Got an Ari Azir and then Azir and what?
What was big last season?
TikTok.
Let's do like Syndra.
Okay, Syndra. All right. Well, nil point. No points for either of you. It is Lucian Jace, is what he actually claimed. Those were the 2 champions he played against Team Fish Taco. I asked him about his Azir.
I was not getting that, man.
No, you weren't. I asked him about the Azir because I called him out and said, you're an Azir one trick. And he's like, actually, in solo queue, I've been only playing Jace and Lucian. And the Azir is more what they've been practicing for competition. So that's how I got you guys. It was solo queue. Not...
I should have guessed Jace.
Yeah,
I think Jace is actually a good guess.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, unfortunately, no points for you, but you're still at 1 apiece. You're tied in the ball game. So let's get into question number 3. Rock Boom and Music were both on Rock Bottom Esports together during the Spring Open qualifiers. Which player had a better KDA?
Rock Boom, because Marksman did.
So, just for everyone who wants to know, Rock Bottom was a team that they played on during the Open qualifiers. As unfortunately, they weren't able to make it to the summer promotion because
They took second.
they took second in the second Open qualifiers. But they
didn't play in the first.
Exactly. They didn't play in the first Open qualifiers. So, unfortunately, based off points, they were not able to make it. Supernova, the team that they're now facing off against, was the one that actually taking that final spot that Rock Bottom wanted to take for themselves.
The cool part was that their bot lane was Rock Boom, and then Rocks.
Rocks,
Rock
yep.
908.
So it was actually Rock Bottom was an awesome name for these guys.
Yes, it was. All right, so we got a Rock Boom, and Eric, you didn't guess.
I'm gonna guess the opposite just so we don't tie. Okay. So I'll go Music.
All right. Well,
watch it be their mid laner.
No, it has to be one of the two. It has to be.
Okay.
So-
Well, that's
So it
not
is Music.
unfair.
Music had an overall KDA of 3.65, while Rock Boom was at 3.51. Unfortunately, there for Cubby, does not get the point. That means Eric is in the lead, 2-1. He is doing it right now.
Doing it for the play-by-plays, baby.
All right, let's get into our next question, though. You know, we gotta keep this moving. We gotta keep the gravy train rolling here, and see how this is going to go. Ready?
Ready.
Cubby? And Cubby's ready for this. Okay. Dragoon, Sketch, and Plucked all played together on the same team last year during the Summer Proving Grounds. What team was that?
Fear.
Yeah, that is correct.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Now here, I'll give you an option for bonus points as well. Yes, you both get it right, but don't show the answer just yet, because what 2 teams did they face off against in the Summer Proving Grounds? These are just bonus points. These are bonus points for you. You only get 1 bonus point if you get both of them.
For whatever reason, I have a weird gut feeling about Immortals.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say Immortals,
Okay.
and then Taco Gaming.
Okay.
This was 2022 summer, right?
2022
Yes.
Summer, yes.
I don't remember one of them. I do remember the elimination one, and I believe that was TSM.
Okay, but you have to say the other one if you want to get the bonus point. Just take a guess. Take a guess.
You know what? I'll say Immortals as well, just to try and cheese the thing out.
Oh, man. You shouldn't have gone with it. You had TSM. That was the elimination matchup.
Yeah.
They lost 2-1, but it was Cloud9
C9.
Academy. They lost 2-0. Yeah, sorry.
I don't remember that bracket, man.
Yeah, that's why I wanted. Hey, it was for a bonus point, but you both get the point right because it was Cincinnati Fear. They did play.
I remember TL lost to Dig, and then TL won.
Yes.
That is what I remember.
All right. Good try. Good try. All right.
All right.
Those are my notes, by the way. Fear's debut roster with Plux.
So here is the final question, and this one is going to be tricky. A lot of people playing today were in the series in which Supernova beat Team Fish Taco in order to qualify for the 2023 summer season. Which of the players in the game today got the very last kill in the series? And afterwards, I will even show the clip from it just so we can even watch together.
My name is Magical, and I give questions that are unfair.
Dragoon? Sure.
Okay.
Dragoon.
You say anyone from this series?
Well, it's not anyone. You have to remember which of the players in the series today also were part of that series.
Series today were also a part of that series.
And which
Who does
players...
support a Team Fish Taco?
I'm not telling you.
Kisno?
So you're saying Kiss now, and we got...
It's going to be a Team Fish Taco member that got the kill, but I don't remember the support.
All right.
No, it's I'm going to guess Robbie Bob. It's Robbie Bob.
Let's watch. Let's watch
It's
to
Robbie
see.
Bob.
Let's
It's
watch
Robbie
to see
Bob.
what
It's
happened.
Robbie Bob. It's Robbie Bob.
So he's going Robbie Bob, and we got Kiss now from Eric.
It's a trick question. It's Robbie Bob.
Obelisk.
So Robbie Bob's dead. That's not how it was. It was, in fact, Kiss now who got it. So Eric gets the question right. Congratulations. Well done, Eric. You are the winner of the unfair quiz show this time around. I hope you feel good.
What do I win?
You
Win my applause.
you can have. I got a rock.
Ow.
I got a rock.
Mold.
Oh, no,
Got a
you want
rock?
it's a shiny rock.
As long as I can make it go boom, we good. That's a good gift.
It's a very shiny rock.
Like my head.
It is. Anyways, so there we go. Congratulations. We got our winner there. Eric did so for the Subway halftime refresh. But to refresh everybody about what is going on, we are in our qualification matchup between Supernova and LiT Esports. LiT Esports are now on a 6-game win streak for the promotion tournament.
They haven't dropped a
They
single
haven't
game
dropped
in
a
this tournament,
single game. So I ask you two, what's it going to take here from Supernova to beat LiT?
Better draft. Deny Azir. I feel like that's it. I don't know. I think it's like really tough when you have Renekton plus Sejuani. We saw that Kisno was able to turn back around that top side, and when you didn't have a top side advantage, we saw LiT get advantages elsewhere. And I think that Azir Sivir was played out really well. So I'm kind of in the boat where deny the Azir, and then we'll go from there and see if LiT can at least play non-Azir comps as well as Messages has been playing this Azir. It has been really good for him so far.
All right, what about you, Eric? What does Supernova got to do?
Sejuani's good, but if that's not picked, I would like to see something like a Viego eventually go through. Okay. Something that can, we talked about in the pregame, I want to see more carry potential in music, so I would like that, because then if you're able to get something good going for Quacker over on that top side, and music is a part of it, music is really good at running his economy all over the map.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about that at the top of the show, right? That music, when he's more on these carries, that seems to be like the strength for Supernova. Having the tank duty, the Sejuani back there for music. While it was able to pick up a win, you know, just yesterday, it's not something that we're really that impressed by. We're not really going like, this is what we know him for. That's why Chad kind of called him out and said he needs to play more of these carries, the Viegos, the Nocturnes. Those are really the bread and butter. But let's bring up the bracket really quick just to remind everybody exactly how things have been going so far. We are in the upper bracket, the qualification matchup. Whoever loses this matchup, they are not eliminated from the tournament. They will have another chance at another best of 5 for another qualification matchup. But of course, it is far better to qualify now and make sure that you can take the rest of your fall and winter season and just relax.
Of course, going against the winner of Team Ambition and Mirage. We'll get to that series, I believe, tomorrow, and that one's going to be a fun one to watch for sure, to figure out who is actually going to take on the loser of this matchup. I mean, everything's wrapping up right now, and as we start getting those qualifications going through, it does tell for some very interesting stories going forward.
I thought, Cubby, you looked like you were raising your hand, so I was about to the teacher was about to let you speak. Would you like to share with the class what you had on your mind?
I feel like we're dressed as two very different teachers here in Mad Magical.
I'm the cool teacher. I'm the teacher that's like, it's a nice day outside. Let's go. Let's have class outside today.
Yeah.
You're the teacher who's like, all right, pop quiz.
Yeah, I'm the teacher who says if you don't pass this pop quiz, then you have a harder one tomorrow. Because that might be the case with Mirage Alliance coming up here.
I'm the assistant principal.
Desrex is the lead discipliner of the school, actually.
All right, it's fair enough. But I do believe we are getting close to getting towards that game. We did have a little bit of a pause, unfortunately. Sorry to everybody. That is why we've been delaying a little bit. But I know I'm excited about this one. And you kind of were talking about Supernova, how they can kind of fix up their draft and things that they can do. But LiT, they just seem like they're a team that are impossible to draft against. So let us get into draft and see if Supernova have figured out how to best LiT.
As we head into this, I do want to bring up, going back to that lower bracket, keep in mind, falling here, it's not just that you have to play another game, it's that you have to play a game against potentially one of the teams that a lot of this league has been pretty scared of in Mirage.
Yeah.
If they do take that win, they are pretty favorited in that series.
I mean, from the tape I've seen so far, I favor Mirage Alliance against Team Ambition, and I think that they have a lot of experience. And I mean, a lot of these players grew up respecting players like Alorum, like Dardoch, and trying to take them down in a best of 5 that have a lot of stakes. That's a tough task. So yeah, I would say preferred to use the one life here to try and get that win. As Supernova are going to switch things up here, swapping sides. It's going to be the first difference that we see in this game too. In my eyes, right now, that's why I really go towards that Azir pick. I feel like Messages has proven that he is more than just proficient at this champion, and want to see Supernova try to deny that some way, somehow.
But instead, so far, Supernova have given respects over to Kisno. They're taking away his Volibear. And another signature pick, the Olaf that we talked so much about. You saw it on the pre-game tape that he's willing to 1v2 with this Olaf, so making sure that comfort is not going to be locked in for Quacker. And speaking of, you talked about it, Cubby, Azir, banned away.
Now, my eyes go towards Maokai Ivern, because we have seen each of those champions be handshaken. And also, with Messages being a rather strong Jason Lucian player, he has piloted both those champions in this tournament. My eyes kind of go towards that, as I think these are two junglers that pair up well with those champions. It might be something that is very comfortable for Messages.
So they are still going to ban away some of that carry potential to Kindred. That was my big question. Are we going to get Music back onto a carry? LiT are still doing their homework and making sure that that's not going to be the biggest thing to have to deal with, as Kindred can run the map if she's able to get quite a few kills. One more ban to come in for Supernova. Final one is going to be, hit the drum roll. Suspense is 0 for way too long. It's Maokai.
All right. So, I mean, we could see first pick Ivern here. It honestly is a thing that, is possible, but also a lot of very powerful champions still on the board. We did see that Rel denied last game. And if Rel's picked, this really brings Ivern's priority up for me, because Ivern Rel is actually a really strong combo. You can utilize the brushes to try and hide Rel and close the gap when it comes to engaging. And also synergizing really well with Jace to hide the shock blast. And of course, Ivern can really support Jace in those side lanes later on. So I'm curious to see if Supernova deny that, or if they go for a Sejuani comp, much of the likes what we saw in that game 1.
Well, what were your impressions on Music being on Sejuani? Because I already voiced mine. I'm not the happiest when he's on a tank. How'd you feel about it?
I think that Music has been at its strongest in this tournament on the Viego and the Nocturnes, like what we saw in the highlight clips. And playing fast with Robbie Bob being on a more supportive mid laner like Nico. I think that is where Supernova for me have looked the best. That said, we could see this actually be delayed because Rakan needs to be picked up now. I guess not necessarily, but LiT could take it away, build a comp of their own. And also with that Xayah being picked up, I gotta say, I think it's gonna be a Caitlyn now coming out of Rock Boom. He likes that match from the Xayah. He's already played it once in this tournament. We saw the Xayah, or I should say the Caitlyn hovered early on into the Xayah from Rock Boom. So it is an option for him in this phase of draft.
This is what I asked for. This is what you asked for. Music is going to be on the Viego this time. And Music, very, very competent on those carries. We talked about his early season when it came to the regular season summer 2023. He was playing champions such as Vi, and he would just run a lot of the early game plays towards the mid and just dominate from there out, becoming this big, big carry threat. Response for LiT, however, the Sejuani is left open, so they'll take it for themselves.
Yeah, I'm curious about the no Ivern here, given that I think that things synergize really well with it, but Kisno's been more on the early game champs. Ivern is a unique early because you have to kind of hide that power early on and kind of make sure you get to the Moonstone where you really start to get strong and put work onto the map. So Sejuani will open up for a more aggressive top side, and that is something where they're looking to build a front line around this Sari that Rock Boom is going to go towards this game. Maybe afraid to play the Caitlyn into the Xayah Rakan, as that combo is rather strong, and Kate Rel's not really the best pairing in the world, so once you would lock in that Sejuani, it kind of goes off the board. But Zeri picked up opportunity to snowball, and we've seen what happens when you don't kill Zeri early on in fights. She can take over later on.
I do like this take coming out from Supernova so far. Sketch and Trevor.
It's a better draft.
Yeah, it's a much better draft coming out for them. I think Sketch and Trevor will have a better time over in that bottom lane. We'll see what happens in terms of the solo lanes, as we're already getting bans towards that. Dragoon's never going to play Darius again. He did get that pentakill against Mirage, and even if the context of the champion seems wrong, sometimes it's better to just ban it away and not worry about it altogether.
It's something where, as well, like into Viego plus Rakan, Darius actually pretty good. into those two champs. But I must say, I really like Supernova's identity this game, because already you have Xayah Rakan, which is not only a strong bottom lane, but also Rel Sej and even Zeri kind of want to jump into you. And so with Xayah Feathers, people are coming in, that value goes up a lot. So I was a little bit surprised to not see something like Ivern Jace or Ivern Caitlyn to kind of set up siege and range in a Xayah. But we did see LiT use that strategy to beat Xayah earlier in the tournament. So going to be a different read and different take from them this time around. Going to match a little bit more of the early power from Supernova. It looks to me that Quacker is actually setting up to take Renekton to this top side.
See if he grabs it. Gwen gets banned away. Jack's the final ban coming out for Supernova, still throwing that one out. For Supernova, I mean, they got great engage, they got a great mid-game spike, and we're looking to see if that Renekton will be locked in over for Quacker to try and match up against Dragoon.
Kasante's an option. A lot of Kasante counters are off the board, like the Olaf, the Gwen, and the Jack. So that could be something. Whereas Robbie Bob,
combo.
Yeah, definitely switching things up a little bit now for Supernova. So Robbie Bob back on a little bit more of a supportive pick from the mid lane. And the upfront engage from Supernova is huge this game.
Yes.
You have Nico, Rakan ult, Diego, whatever they throw on top of this, which I'm expecting to be a Renekton. And frankly, I think it's a little bit of a deny pick away from Quacker. And also, I think that LiT really need early strength. The Renekton's good here. Like Diego, Rakan, and Nico are all going to go in. Get a lot of value as Renekton. When people jump into you, you can just land that stun. So some early game strength for LiT locked in.
Thing is, if Dragoon doesn't do that well over on the top side and just becomes paper, this engage from Supernova is really, really devastating. And the big thing is setting up music for resets. Once he starts getting those, it's the beginning of the end for LiT as they look for their final pick. They are hovering towards the Alistair, not going to go for that. Back over on the Syndra, and that will be the lock-in.
I like how you said, though, like the engage for Supernova is big, but this Syndra now actually gives you that option to outrange Xayah. Scatter very big to try and reset these fights as Supernova. You're going to have this big engage, but if you have a good scatter, you can try and survive that initial burst, that upfront damage Supernova will be packing, and try and reset the fight on the Viego later. So I think this pick from Messages is pretty strong. And we'll see what Quacker has to pack. And the backside is it will be a Malphite.
Oh,
so
man.
more engage coming in on top of the Nico, on top of the Rakan. And I got to say, it's going to be really tough for Zeri plus Syndra to deal with this. As Renekton, Sejuani, you can't really stop like the Malphite engage from coming in. It's kind of tough to shut down Rakan too. So I think it's going to be a tough task here for LiT, as they have to find some way to deter this Wombo combo from Supernova. And it's not like they win the lanes around it, as Syndra scales. Renekton, you can get ahead of the Malphite, but eventually he does neutralize you. And then bot lane, it's Xayah Rakan. Zeri has push, has clear, but you're still facing a Xayah Rakan, and you're a team that kind of goes in. So I think a lot could be on Messages to try and reset these fights and really look to see if Supernova can execute these big upfront engages up top. Because if they do, they have early power. They team fight very well with this draft, and I think it's a much better look for Supernova in this game too.
Supernova dictate the fight. They are going to dictate the game. It's up to a lot of the skirmish from LiT Esports to come together and take a fight for a game 2, potentially be on that door to qualify for the NACL 2024 Spring Split. That's what's on the line right now. Winner heads over there. Let us know in chat who you want to take the dub. LIT for LiT, SN for Supernova. But off that note, we did catch up with Messages and ask him how it's like. How are the nerves feeling coming into this game?
Recently, I've been taking on more of a leadership role when it comes to my team. All of my friends are good friends. They're all kind of newer to competitive. When it becomes to stage nerves, I kind of just have to calm them all down. You know, it's their first rodeo, so I can't be sitting here all being all nervous. So I have to kind of be like the person they all look up to. And, you know, if I'm not nervous, then they're not nervous. So I just go into the game like, well, if I'm okay, then they're going to be all right.
I like that. Lead by
like that a
example,
lot.
you know?
Yeah.
That does matter, especially when you're with a younger team. As Messages, you know, you got guys like Rockboom, Kisno around him. Dragoon, Pox, of course, have some more experience, but I really like Messages taking the onus, not just for himself, but for the team as well, as he's going to try and be that leader and bring up levels of everyone around him. So far for that, they're 5-0 in this tournament. It's been damn good.
I mean, being in these games, it does get very high emotion. So projecting negative emotions onto your teammates can have a pretty bad impact. We've seen teams go boom before, just in the mental game. So a lot of respect for messages to take that role, as you said, Cubby. But already we get a flash burnt out from Trevor in the early level 1 exchange.
Yeah, I mean, you are Rakan, so it's not the worst flash to burn in the world, but still, the fact that Flux and Rockboom were able to get something out of this lane, not bad. They're going to be pretty happy with that one. As you can see, the push going in favor of Zeri very early on. Will change as this lane moves forward, but good stuff from this bot lane off the bat, as they're going to try and get this wave in and bounce it, as both of our junglers working up towards that top side.
So I wanted to ask you about that top side, because this is Quacker on an engager. He's on a pure tank this time. This is going to be a slightly different take for Supernova. They're not going to have as much power as they've normally had topside.
It's just going to take a little bit to really get into the game, as actually it looks like Dragoon took a tower shot. As I think that's the only thing that can kind of explain that HP to me, as flashes will be traded. Dragoon gets out A-okay, no problem. He missed a lot of CS though, so he can't get something like a Cole first base, which is something that Renekton's look for. Yeah, so he's going to have to go with the longsword and a rejuve potion. Actually, TP's back. I'm surprised about that. I would have preferred if Dragoon walked back, in a sense. Like, in this matchup, if you are Dragoon, you can walk back and then try and trade with a Malphite and get his TP out at a very unfavorable lane state, and you eventually, get back later. So I think that Dragoon, he's going to try and pull this wave to make sure it shoves in, but could have denied Malphite more, actually, if you walked back.
I think the idea was he was expecting Quacker to be there a little bit longer, because Kisno was already headed up into that direction. So maybe trying to pair up for the gank in time. Now Kisno will still find his way into that top side, and they're potentially look to take down Quacker. Quacker gives the thumbs up, and Permafrost finds the stun. As Kisno and Dragoon go forward, it's the return of music that brings the damage to Dragoon's face. Now Kisno has to bail, and it's going to be first blood picked up by music. All right, a good first take coming out from Supernova. I had questions about that top side and how it's going to play, but Supernova more than happy to continue playing towards it. And look at this, they want to dive as well. The smite's not enough to protect them. Music will get the kill. And we have lost Cubby, had to disconnect, so we're gonna bring in our host, Mad Magical. Care to join me, brother?
Yeah, it's happening finally. Me as the color caster. Let's go.
Again, and it's us. It's us.
It happened. It's only when I'm hosting and you're play-by-playing. That's when it happens. So they're like, all right, gotta bring him in. Gotta make sure that Magical's big brain can come out once in a while. But some crazy plays just happened right there.
Yeah, let's put that big brain to work, because Music has 2 kills right now. It's still a tank Quacker. Supernova will play to that lane, and that's where they're finding their lead, Alex.
Yeah, and this is what we've been wanting to see, right? We've been wanting to see Music on these carry-type champions. The Viego looking really good. It looked really good just the other day when they were able to get their victory over Winthrop, right? That was in that game 2, Music getting these early leads on Viego and helping to snowball the rest of the map. Of course, Quacker was also on that Olaf that could kind of be another big frontline damage dealer for the team, but I kind of liked it even better here with that Malphite. Really, to build up Music to be that hyper carry for the team.
And that's the thing I wasn't even really thinking about during Champs Alert. I was so focused on Quacker that I didn't realize that this is to facilitate Music. This is to get him the resets. This is to get Supernova to find their superstar in Music.
Well, looking forward to seeing if that's the case, as guess what?
Magical.
I know.
What happened to your voice?
We're back. We got some internet back in. I don't know. It was a weird voice changer. You know, at Magical. Maybe I was using that. Who knows? Just been him. But sorry about that, guys. As sometimes remote broadcast, I can go sideways, and it looks like things went a little bit...
It's not just the players. It happens to the talent as well.
Sometimes it looks like, you know, as I was going, things went a little bit sideways across the map here. As Supernova got a couple kills, and now going to pick up his first dragon.
Still more topside play is what has come out from Supernova. They're just playing the music right now, and you can see the Toon is beating off towards Supernova as they'll grab the dragon.
Really nice for Supernova, as this comp is definitely something where they're going to look to get ahead early. and have already done a really nice job of that as Dragoon set behind that play topside, not going the way of LiT. And that, I'm curious if that affects the Heralds, because usually when you have Renekton Sejuani, you're looking to play really heavily towards that first Herald, but Supernova with the lead top, and really the item threshold that Music is at, this could get dangerous and a little bit hairy here, as this is going to be a really strong Diego if they do decide to fight for this first Rift.
That's Sheen. Plus 2 longswords, a dagger, now level 6 on top of it, so he does have his ultimate. This could be pretty devastating for LiT. They do not choose to pressure anything else. It's going to be a reset coming out from Music as he paths towards the top end.
And look at Kisno, though. Like, he's got to pick up 2 camps before he has access to 6 himself, at least. And Music, after the Krugs, can set up another topside play if he wants. And it has the items where he's going to be filthy strong for this first Rift Herald, especially when you throw in a Nico plus Renekton, the draft that Supernova has to make sure their team is so strong for this. So I don't think, if I'm LiT, I'm not playing for that. And at the moment on the map, there's really nothing else that Kisno can do besides maybe sneak bot or try and catch Trevor out in transition. But I don't want to see LiT try to contest this first Herald. I don't think it's playable for them right now.
And so far with the pathing coming out from Kisno, it doesn't look like that's going to be the focus. Yeah. Focus will be bottom side. Supernova should have their way with that Rift Herald the moment they see Kisno. Now here comes the ultimate right over the wall. It is a beautiful chain. Takes down Trevor in the blink of an eye.
That was really well done by LiT. And I like LiT, someone identifying like, hey, we know that this is the Rift Herald timer. We can't play on the top side of the map. They are too strong. Let's get something elsewhere. So yeah, Music, he's going to be on that Rift Herald. And this Rift Herald, even if the initial draft plan for LiT was maybe with the Sejuani or an action to play for that, that's off the table, given what the script of this game has laid out for them. So I think LiT adapting to that script rather nicely, getting a kill bot, they're going to be happy with that, or they would have got nothing on this top side or probably lost a fight and really far behind this game. So I think LiT adapting really well.
And I really like the call from Kisno. He didn't get the kill and go for the reset and bounce over to that Rift Herald. He stayed onto that side of the map, and now looking to choke out Trevor. Gets caught out by a Scatter at the weak, but nothing else to be found. Kisno playing this well.
Look at Music, though. I love this response from Music, too. Yeah, they have strength on the top side. Their Herald's really strong. They didn't get the fight they wanted here on the top side, so Music just going to force the issue. Take away the Wolves, take away a camp. Kisno was spotted, throwing out that control word, so Music taking what's given to him.
This Music continues with the blue buff. Kisno will be in the area, as well as Dragoon. So they're looking to collapse on him before this blue gets taken, but it's far too fast. Music is able to take it. Go ahead and walk right on out. Supernova still continuing their momentum with Music.
This is something where, you know, if you're on the side of LiT, we kind of thought that there would need to be some scaling, at least for their carries, but we also talked about how, you know, they did draft a strong topside early, Desterux. They've not gotten the script of the game they wanted to have this go their way, and I think the adaptation to attack bot when the Herald was up was nice from LiT, but they're going to need to continue to find some things to do, because at the moment, topside, this Malphite's about to base TP back. He's already got a Bramble Vest, if he really wants to.
And Music got his Trinity Force on the same back.
Not a Bramble Vest. He's got a damn Thornmail. And that is also, yeah, Trinity Force for Music. So you don't want to take any fights around this Viego right now. And any kill that Viego gets first, I mean, he's just going to be able to smork the rest of the fight pretty easily, you know? So I think this is tough for LiT. They really have to buy some time here and make sure that Supernova doesn't get too much on the map.
Supernova aren't going to let up just yet. They are focusing over towards the bottom end, getting some vision there. It is 55 seconds before Dragon does spawn, and then we'll see what type of map this is. Music waits, so does Kisno. Both of these junglers waiting for the 3v3.
I think this is nice from Kisno. We definitely have seen Kisno grow quite a bit from that first OQ even. I thought the first OQ Kisno was actually rather weak. And I think Kisno has found a strong point here for LiT with this tournament. So Herald not going to quite be denied as that survives. 300 HP. Music Sketch going to split the gold, and Supernova continue to find small wins for themselves across the map while they're strong right now.
Music not leaving, wants to clear out the ward in the process. Music doing so well so far. Oh, now here comes the re-engage from Plux, able to find it in the bush. Blind ultimate comes out from Kisno. Teleport being channeled. Music looking to return to the fight, but is it too late? Robbie Bob goes after Rock Boom, gets caught by the Pop Blossom. Here comes Music, doesn't have a reset just yet. Looking for Plux, looking for Kisno. Will pop the ultimate, but a great flash from Kisno gets his life good. Now messages Scatter the Weak won't find Music. Able to snare up Plux, who's looking for another angle. but finally, everything comes to a calm at the cost of Rock Boom.
Honestly, I thought LiT played that pretty well. Like, Rock Boom at least forced the NACL ult early, so we see Dragoon not able to get any other auto attacks down thanks to the E from Malphite. Quacker just going to ult for ult on out. Malphite's fine with that one. He gets the shield back. He'll be okay, but again, LiT looking for plays elsewhere, and this is very aggressive. Yeah, the Viego was just showing on the bot side, but they see them basing on a ward together. They take the play. It's a 3v2, and they get him down before this play really cashes in. So now Robbie Bob comes in. Great sidestep here from Rock Boom. It nets the ult from Robbie Bob as well. He's going to be dead. Rock Boom's down. Then they are able to get the rest of themselves out of this. So if you're going even at this state of the game, you're just setting up how difficult it was going to be for LiT to find anything on the map. The fact they went even there and got a lot of tools out of Supernova, I think it's a small win.
And it could change up the dynamic of the way these this dragon stacking is going to go. It's LiT who's the first one to get into the river. Supernova going for control of the mid lane. Taking a look at ultimates, you don't have one for Kizno right now. Your engage is down. Same thing for Plux.
They have like 1 or 2 waves to maybe fight, but then you cannot fight after. Because as you called out, Deserex, no ults available for Supernova, but that NACL ult's going to be up after this next wave crashes. So I think that it's already too late for LiT to try and fight this. We'll see if they realize it, though, as they are kind of waiting for the Sejuani ult of their own. But look at this. Robbie Bob, Music, their ults are back, and this is trouble.
That's a nice pick right there. Dragoon stepped too far forward, and Supernova will easily clean that one up and gain control of the river.
That is not what we're looking for out of Dragoon, as he looks like a cape proc. And now this Dragon going to be the second one secured for Supernova. All good for them as they continue to utilize the early strength well.
Second Drake, Infernal secured. We're going to have a cloud map. As Supernova, 1.6k in the lead. Tower plates are going to fall in the next 30 seconds. Supernova, a lot of that gold going to places you want it. It's not just music anymore. It's also gold onto Robbie Bob. This big engager. The pop blossoms are massive. Sketch, your marksman, needs to do a lot of work in these fights. Has the Kraken Slayer completed. So Supernova, so many things going to the beat of the drum.
For LiT, I think it's just really about buying time for messages. We did set up in draft SRX a lot of the scatters and using those to try and counter or like reset fights in favor of LiT. I think that that's something where that's going to be the key moving forward. As LiT still going to have, I'd say, another 5 to 10 minutes where they're really going to be on the back foot.
The time goes by, taking a look at the gold. A lot onto Sketch. Does have that Kraken Slayer that was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Rock Boom is going to finish off that static Shiv. So you're going to get some push priority coming out from LiT. So let's start setting up around the Rift Herald. They'll be the first ones to get priority here, but this time they do have ultimates available.
Still think that LiT, you know, for them, it's really about playing things slow, trying to reset. If everyone goes in, you jump into the Xayah, and she gets a really efficient rip on top of the Nico ult, top of the Viego ult, that's fight over. You got to prevent the resets here from Viego, so trying to spread out, stall the fight, kind of survive a couple of these ultimates, that's going to be the key. As Quacker just simply slapping Dragoon around. He's scaled on this Malphite already. He's got 1 armor item, and this Renekton's having a tough time. Herald's going to be secure, but now what are they going to lose?
Now here comes Trevor, able to find one knock of Quacker looking for the angle in. Dragoon goes in, able to go unstoppable as Music gets stopped from going the resets, but the health bars are way too low for LiT. Sketch able to put out the Feather Storm. Messages taking a different angle, so is Rock Boom. 2 carries, 2 different flanks, a double kill getting found by Rock Boom. Trevor's left into the pit to watch his team get slaughtered, and LiT bring it right back.
Dude, Rock Boom, all this guy does is auto attack. I feel like no one's focusing on Rock Boom, and he just throws out auto after auto. The DPS this guy's putting down, it's different. And that's what's getting LiT these fights. It's, yeah, they got Music first. You have to take down the Viego in this comp. If he gets resets, it's doomed. LiT do that, and then Rock Boom catches in at the end. Yeah, he goes down, but he's why that ended up being such a convincing fight for LiT. So they get the Herald, they get mid-turret, and they get a gold lead in this game.
Take a close eye at the way this went. I really did favor Supernova. That's a level 11 on Quacker, waiting for that big ultimate, but the carries stay safe, Cubby.
And it was off the engage of Plux. They isolated Music. He was hit by a Sejuani ult, by Renekton. Dragoon goes in, and then look at this. Rock Boom. He just avoided, he cleansed out of the Nico ult, just kind of skirt and skating around the fight, gets the carry and Sketch, and yeah, Quacker ends up falling to a lot of Cinder damage with the scatter. With a follow-up from LiT in the back half. So a nice 4 for 2 for LiT. Back in this game, we get back pretty even. You can check it out in the subway damage dealt in the last team fight. Biggest footlong, that goes over to the side of Rock Boom. Nearly 4k damage pumped out, and none from that Viego. That is such a problem in this composition. LiT, again, doing a great job of identifying what they need to do to win these games. I think that's why LiT's been undefeated so far. It feels like every game they're playing, I like to say League's a bit of a puzzle. You got to figure out that puzzle as a team. What puzzle piece you need to remove this game if you're a LiT? It's the Viego. They get music out immediately. They understand what they need to do as a team to win these team fights, and that's been why they're 5-0, stepping on to map 6 in this tournament so far.
Don't let Supernova dictate the fight. You got to be the one to pull the trigger and not allow for all these tools that Supernova have to come together. Now, here comes an invade from Supernova. They're able to find it right on the messages. Ultimate comes out from Kizno, but dead to rights is the mid lane of LiT.
And that's the answer for Supernova. Take away that Syndra. Syndra allows for LiT to play slow, reset these fights. They catch messages in a side lane where Syndra is weak, taken down. A good play from Supernova on the back caps. Now Rami Bob running away from Dragoon. We'll Proto Belt on out of there as Dragoon does burn his ult. And we'll see how much damage he gets down on this top tower. Nico has a lot of wave clear. Dragoon could get a little spicy here.
Because it's a cannon wave, Dragoon does get a little bit of time if he wants to try and set up for this dive, and he's going to go for it right onto Robbie Bob. Takes half of the health that he had remaining and will scoot out.
That's good Renekton play right there. Just take the trade, takes what giving you. So Dragoon been showing that, on more meta champs, probably the most meta champ we've seen him play so far, that he has some proficiency to be expected from Dragoon, who again has been a top laner. He's really just been on the borderline of making Challengers League, has even qualified, but didn't play with Supernova this past split. Looking for that classic revenge game, as an NFL fan. Love to talk about revenge games, always a big deal, try and take down your old org. Always see Supernova and with, I should say, Dragoon and Kizno trying to do that for their old org here. Very
for the 5v5. Flux goes in, wants to find the Magnet Storm. Robbie Bob looking for the angle. Here comes the Pop Blossom. It's on the 4! Robbie Bob able to claim Kizno, but what left is in the tank? 4 messages as he'll throw out another orb. Able to take one back. Quacker falls, but he's able to get Dragoon and Flux in the process.
This time, Music lives. He's able to clean up. I thought the last ult would actually be for Rock Boom. He was just playing front to back. Supernova, they do have a number advantage towards them, and they do have the health bar advantage as well. This is being done on a crab. Kizno, I don't think he can get in here. This is going to be a one-way trip if he does. He does have flash if he really wants to try it. Does have an ultimate, but not going to be the case. Cloud Soul on the table, and Soul Point secured by Supernova.
And that was great right there. The composition that you had from LiT in game number 1 was to pull back into a lot of these fights. And now it's a different complete story as you get caught out by Supernova, the Pop Blossom, all these different things you have to pay attention to.
Yeah, and this time, I think it's another decent engage from Flux, but Music lives. And yeah, the Malphite falls, but all the damage was dumped into the tank. So Music able to take the fight the way that he wants to with a nice Pop Blossom. He's able to find 2 resets. That's the goal here for Supernova. Executed their comp a little bit better. I think it was a reasonable attempt and respectful from LiT, but it's kind of the issue when you don't find that Viego early, he can run the fight later.
3-1-2 on Music right now. LiT have been really watching where Music is, but the moment they lose track, you end up with situations like we had into that last team fight. Now Trevor deep into the jungle. What's he doing over here? Will pop his ultimate. He's looking for the long escape, but there's so much crowd control that's going to continuously stop him, and it's a kill for free for Rock Boom.
Yeah, it went to the wrong member too. So Rock Boom picking that up. He's now at 3, 2, and 5. He's close to Devora quick plays, and LiT, they're going to get lit up on this Baron, man.
Woo. All right, start up the Baron. Music not too far off.
TP, they get a TP.
Try and attempt to steal right here, but knowing Supernova is down a member, that's a lot of team fight potential that's lost out. They're going to look for the engage on the Robbie Bob, but they're only hitting the clone.
The engage is a little bit optimistic, as Robbie Bob did have the clone, but I really like what LiT did there. They started Baron, they pull TP, they turn immediately, so they don't let themselves get too low and make it so that they were vulnerable to an engage from the Malphite or from the Nico to set up this Viego. So actually really like that play from LiT.
Smart play, making Supernova burn their resources, but now Supernova are the ones to get back onto the map at a time where LiT is looking for a reset, so Supernova with control of the Baron side.
It would have saw/heard Pluck's reset, as that wasn't stopped because he has a shield, so support's back to 5v4 in favor of Supernova, and they're going to start it up now.
Yeah, and completely split is going to be LiT, as
they're
looking for the angle in. Kizno's nearby. does not have the ultimate, as you had mentioned, is going to look for the Arc Assault over the wall to try and find the steal, but getting knocked into the air from the Unstoppable Force. He will flash in, but Music is able to secure it nonetheless. Now Sketch corralled in to the Baron Pit. Will have to flash over. Robbie Bob getting caught out. Gets put down by Plux, and look at Rock Boom go. We'll find another one as Trevor looking to survive the onslaught nearby. Quacker, who's getting doused in the orbs of messages. Another kill going over to Dragoon.
All right, so honestly, Baron being on 2 members of Supernova, it is okay because Sketch and Trevor will have that try and prep waves for the Dragon Soul that is available for Supernova in 2.5 minutes. So Hero Baron buff kind of goes wayside. That was a weird fight as Rockboom sacked himself to take down the Viego. So you can really see how much priority that are putting on that. They're like, all right, we're trading our marksman for Viego. We need Viego to get no resets here. But a gutsy call from Supernova, and I respect it. They saw Flux base, they turn immediately. They know they have numbers. And see Flux isn't yet at this fight. 7 HP miss from Kisno. That's a good attempt as he was able to get into the pit at the least. So the flip does go to the way of Supernova. But honestly, I think the call overall was okay. Supernova... risky. A little gutsy here.
Wild.
Our challenger team really being pushed.
I'm just going to say, Rockboom's wild being on the overside of that wall right there. He's willing to aggress on pretty much anything that he sees, even a slither of a chance to get a kill on. But now here comes the next situation coming in for LiT. They got to start focusing onto this Dragon side because Dragon stacking has gone the way of Supernova. And right now, Vision Control will go the way of LiT.
And keep in mind, it still is Baron onto Sketch and Trevor. So they can set up the waves with those two individuals with Baron. They try and get priority in this bot river. But if we can have our observers look at this bot river, LiT has done a really nice job getting wards. So they have 2 control wards everywhere here. There's only 1 ward that Supernova has that has snuck behind LiT. That could be something to look out for, as Quacker does have TP available. And Robbie Bob will have his TP coming up shortly. So shout out to our observers for that toggle. Good setup from LiT so far. We can see with Baron-empowered creeps in the mid lane, it is push for Supernova, and mid-outer should fall in their favor.
Grouping back up, LiT into the mid lane. Keeping the way of Quacker at the moment.
Maybe.
Quacker, the big engage, alongside Robbie Bob. Gotta make sure to protect both Messages and Rockboom if you want to take these fights. So watch for that Unstoppable Force because Quacker will be looking for an angle quite soon. Gets chunked out, loses a third of his health.
Yeah, it's not a ton. It's not much of a chunk, though. It's still a Malphite, man. He's fine being a rock. That ward did die as LiT found it. The one that we highlighted in that bot brush behind them. So no TP ward for Quacker to get behind LiT here from Supernova. As hold on, that is one. They're on this one.
That's a deep one, and this gives LiT a chance to engage before Supernova can, so they're looking for Quacker. Quacker holding on to that Unstoppable Force. The rest of Supernova coming forward, able to flash out is going to be Rockboom, only catching Messages. And now Plux going in, over the wall, Palm Blossom from Robbie Bob. We'll find the carries. Now in a terrible spot is going to be Kisno. Same thing with Dragoon and Plux. Supernova able to play this map and take down LiT. The remaining survivor is going to be Plux. It's a full-on ace for Supernova.
Supernova spread out their wombo combo ultimates and find Rockboom with the flash from Robbie Bob as Rockboom flashed Quacker's ultimate but didn't have it available for the other one. Ends up getting punished as Supernova execute their comp very nicely there to make sure that they pick up this soul. Gonna take another look. That's a little bit deep from Quacker. I think the flash out was actually kind of creative from him because that actually enables him to go on to Rockboom here. As Rockboom, he spotted immediate ult from Quacker. Rockboom maybe didn't even need the flash that. He could have maybe dashed on out of that one, but then he dashes in, trying DPS Music. Gets picked up by Robbie Bob, who finds a massive Pop Blossom in the E. Wow. I mean, that's a game over engage right there from Robbie Bob. Yeah, he ends up going down, but I think that's well worth it for him. As Supernova wipe the fight, pick up the Dragon, and look to even up this series.
Hey, you gotta save your flashes for those big team fight engages. Well, now the question is, hey, which one? You flash out of the Unstoppable Force, and Robbie Bob still finds a setup immediately after. It's showing you the different levels of threat that Supernova have drafted. And again, it's coming all together, these big engages, because the gold is on the carries.
Good execution there from Supernova. As you can see, LiT, they put up a decent fight in this one, but I think Supernova has been really the drafts and the comps we have seen them be a bit more successful with so far this tournament. Tesserux, we talked about Music playing carries, but also the support around him. I mean, we saw the Nico Nocturne game from Supernova be pretty good. Nico Viego, I mean, very similar idea, being executed very well. Is now LiT, they're a little bit caught out here. Music,
Yeah, Sketch in a good spot to put those feathers through and to find a good route. Klux tries to go forward. Kizno has to bail. Look at Quacker go onto Rock. Will just take him down by himself. Now trying to find messages in the process. Supernova are too damn strong. They're too damn tanky. And they'll take down LiT Esports.
Oh my god, Quacker just absolutely Sigma chatted Rock Boom there. He just walked up and like blew everything on Melfight, 2 rounds of subs, gets a solo kill in a 1v2 onto the Zeri. Rock Boom with those subs that time around. He falls to the Melfight, and the rest of the base gonna fall to Supernova as they even up the series.
Hey man, that's what you want to see. He's been one of the most impressive in just getting solo kills, 28 on the regular season. We wanted that growth where he can sync up with the team and find those priority targets. He gets Rock Boom, and look at the situation. The series now 1-1 as Supernova take the win.
Yeah, I mean, I think that 2-0 in the top side for Supernova, that just really took away LiT's early game plan. And then from there, we saw what the Nico, the Viego, the Rakan, the Malphite could do. This threat overload engage to try and get Viego a reset. Ended up being executed really well from Supernova throughout the game. It was really the one fight where LiT was able to find music first. That was the one where they were actually kind of able to slow down Supernova and stop the music. But besides that, it was all Viego, all Supernovas. They had the tools to win that game, and they executed it really nicely.
Very, very nicely. And, you know, they qualified before, now looking to continue to stay in the NACL. And this is how you do it, evening up the series 1-1 apiece. We're going to take a moment to throw it over a break. But before we do, we want to give a good shout out to one of our sponsors, and that is going to be Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace, where you can book about any car you want for just about any occasion. Forget about those boring rentals at Turo. We'll be right back.
Subway refreshed their ingredients, their menu, and now they're slicing their meats fresh. That's why their new Subway Series subs are preferred by this champ.
And his future champ.
Pros who are talking heads prefer fresh sliced turkey.
And pros who use their heads prefer fresh sliced ham.
More deli meats are preferred by this QB.
And preferred by his old backup QB.
And if we prefer it, we know you'll prefer it too. Is this slice as good as your tennis slice?
I can't answer that, but yes.
So good, now we getting fire.